From the sky, they look like one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements. Massive palm trees, entire continents, even plans for a miniature solar system, built not on land, but in the middle of the sea. Billions of dollars were poured into these incredible islands, and the world believed Dubai was creating the future. But today, many of those ambitious projects sit unfinished, abandoned, or completely forgotten. So what went wrong? How did one of the most ambitious construction dreams in modern history turn into a story filled with delays, financial collapse, and unanswered questions? This is the fascinating rise and unexpected fall of Dubai's artificial islands. At the beginning of the 21st century, Dubai was growing at an incredible speed. Oil had transformed the city into an economic powerhouse, but its leaders knew something important: oil would not last forever. To secure the future, Dubai needed a new source of wealth. Tourism, luxury, international investment. The city wanted to become one of the world's most famous destinations, attracting millions of visitors and wealthy investors every year. There was just one problem. Dubai had a limited coastline, and beachfront property was becoming increasingly rare. Instead of accepting this limitation, planners asked an extraordinary question. What if they simply created more land? It sounded almost impossible. Yet for Dubai, impossible had never been a reason to stop dreaming. In 2001, government-owned developer Nakheel Properties introduced one of the boldest construction programs ever imagined. The company announced that enormous artificial islands would rise from the waters of the Arabian Gulf. These weren't ordinary islands. They would be carefully designed to resemble giant palm trees when viewed from space. The first project was Palm Jumeirah. Then came Palm Jebel Ali. Finally, Palm Deira, a project even larger than the first two combined. Each island promised luxury villas, five-star hotels, private beaches, shopping districts, and marinas. For buyers around the world, owning property on one of these islands became the ultimate status symbol. But the palm-shaped islands were only the beginning. Soon, Nakheel revealed another breathtaking idea known simply as the world. Hundreds of small islands would be arranged to recreate the map of Earth. Each island could become a private resort, a luxury estate, or an exclusive commercial destination. And if that wasn't ambitious enough, an even more unbelievable proposal followed. A second megaproject called the Universe. The concept imagined artificial islands shaped like the sun, the moon, planets, the Milky Way, and distant galaxies. It was an engineering vision unlike anything the world had ever seen. For a moment, it seemed as though Dubai had discovered a way to turn imagination itself into reality. But within only a few years, that dream would face its greatest challenge. While these ambitious blueprints were still being announced, construction had already begun on the first and most iconic island, Palm Jumeirah. This wasn't just another luxury housing project. It was designed to completely reshape Dubai's coastline. Using millions of tons of sand and rock taken from the seabed, engineers slowly built a massive palm-shaped island that stretched deep into the Arabian Gulf. Once completed, it would add dozens of kilometers of new waterfront property, creating space that simply didn't exist before. By 2006, the land reclamation phase had been completed. Soon after, the first homeowners began receiving the keys to their beachfront villas. Along the palm's branches, rows of luxury residences started welcoming wealthy buyers from around the world. Surrounding the island, a giant crescent-shaped breakwater was constructed to shield it from strong waves and storms. This protective barrier also became home to several world-class luxury resorts, turning Palm Jumeirah into one of Dubai's most recognizable landmarks. As Palm Jumeirah continued taking shape, Dubai itself was experiencing an extraordinary transformation. Every year seemed bigger than the last. New skyscrapers rose across the skyline almost overnight. Massive shopping malls, luxury hotels, and futuristic developments appeared one after another. International investors poured billions of dollars into the city, convinced that Dubai's rapid growth would continue for decades. The real estate market exploded. Property prices climbed rapidly, and demand showed almost no signs of slowing down. During this period, Dubai also began constructing another symbol of its limitless ambition, the Burj Khalifa. The world's tallest building became proof that Dubai wasn't interested in following global trends. It wanted to set them. Then, in September 2008, Palm Jumeirah celebrated one of its biggest milestones. The Atlantis Hotel officially opened with a spectacular ceremony that captured international attention. Fireworks illuminated the entire island, celebrities attended the event, and millions watched as Dubai proudly showcased its newest architectural masterpiece. For one unforgettable night, it seemed as though nothing could stop the city's incredible rise. But behind the dazzling celebrations, a financial storm was already spreading across the world. Banks were collapsing. Investment companies were losing billions. Property markets across multiple countries were beginning to crash. At first, Dubai appeared untouched. The city continued celebrating while much of the global economy struggled to survive. However, that confidence wouldn't last for long. Within weeks, the worldwide financial crisis reached Dubai. The real estate market, which had been growing at an unbelievable pace, suddenly slowed down. Investors became cautious. Banks tightened lending. Many buyers canceled property purchases. Construction companies that had once operated around the clock were forced to reduce work or stop completely. Across Dubai, giant construction sites that had symbolized endless progress suddenly fell silent. Projects worth billions of dollars faced delays, uncertainty, or complete suspension. And among the developments hit hardest were the ambitious artificial islands that had once promised to redefine the future of Dubai. The dream was no longer growing. For many of these islands, it had just begun to fall apart. Unlike the palm-shaped islands, the world was built around a completely different idea. Instead of creating one giant island, developers reclaimed hundreds of smaller islands and carefully arranged them to resemble a map of the Earth when viewed from above. Each island represented a different country or region, giving investors the chance to own a tiny piece of the world. The concept captured global attention almost instantly. Celebrities, wealthy entrepreneurs, and international investors rushed to reserve islands, believing they were buying into one of the most exclusive real estate projects ever created. By the time the financial crisis struck, most of the land reclamation work had already been completed, and many islands had already been sold. Everything appeared to be moving exactly as planned. But appearances can be deceiving. Although ownership had changed hands, actual construction barely began. Many investors who had purchased islands suddenly found themselves dealing with financial losses back home. As businesses struggled and global markets weakened, building luxury resorts on private islands was no longer a priority. One by one, development plans were postponed. Then postponed again. Eventually, many were abandoned altogether. Years passed, yet most of the islands remained nothing more than empty stretches of sand surrounded by calm blue water. While Dubai's economy slowly recovered and new skyscrapers once again filled the skyline, the world remained stuck in time. Confidence had disappeared. Developers questioned whether such an expensive The project also included floating villas, underwater bedrooms, boutique hotels, and entertainment areas designed to attract wealthy travelers from around the world. Construction has continued over the years, although much slower than originally expected. Whether the heart of Europe will eventually become the success its developers imagined remains a question only time can answer. But one thing is already clear. Dubai's artificial islands tell a much bigger story than unfinished construction projects. They represent the incredible ambition of a city determined to challenge nature itself. Throughout history, every nation has pursued bold projects that seemed impossible. Some transformed the world forever. Others became expensive lessons in the limits of ambition. Dubai's islands sit somewhere between those two extremes. Palm Jumeirah became one of the most recognizable luxury destinations on Earth, attracting millions of visitors every year and proving that even the most unbelievable ideas can become reality. At the same time, projects like Jebel Ali, Dubai Waterfront, and much of the world remind us that even unlimited ambition cannot escape economic downturns, changing markets, or environmental challenges. They remain frozen snapshots of a moment when Dubai believed almost anything could be built. Perhaps that is what makes these islands so fascinating. They are not simply collections of sand and rock rising from the sea. They are monuments to human imagination, confidence, and risk. Some became global success stories. Others became symbols of dreams that arrived before their time. And maybe, decades from now, historians won't judge these islands only by what was completed, but by what they dared to attempt. Because sometimes, the greatest engineering stories aren't just about the projects that succeed. They're also about the ones that remind us how difficult it is to reshape the world itself. If you enjoyed this documentary and want to see more stories about incredible megaprojects, abandoned cities, engineering marvels, and hidden history, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.